So, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a history lesson that brings some comments into context. There's a certain individual that's making comments about or was making uh, comments about the Jackie Vautour protest site and referring to the younger females that were there as matriarchs. Well, he kind of confused the issue, and I think he confused the issue because he maybe didn't really know the term matriarch. In Aboriginal culture, and a lot of cultures in the world, the women that's head of the family or the matriarchs are the oldest living members of the family or would be considered elders. Now, I think what he was trying to refer to, and I have to respect anybody who makes that comment, that they're people of strength, which is strong. But the people that were on the Sacred Fire were allies of the cause, but they weren't matriarchs of the Jackie Vautour family. Now, the matriarchs of the Jackie Vautour family would be, of course, Jackie's wife and her female descendants, Maureen Vautour and other people like that. When you use the word matriarch, you have to use it correctly. Now, according to Wikipedia, we're going to be looking at that in a very short podcast today. Now, matriarchy is a social system in which positions of dominance and privilege are held by women. In a broader sense, it can also extend to moral authority, social privilege, and control of property. While these definitions apply in general English, definitions specific to anthropology and feminism differ in some respects. Matriarchies may also be confused with various societies, including matrifocal. While some may consider any non-patriarchal system to be matriarchal, most academics exclude those systems from matriarchies as strictly defined. Many societies have had matriarchal elements, but unlike the patriarchal, a complete exclusion of men in authority have not been recorded in history unless you're looking at that Star Trek episode involving, Riker and that female leader of the planet. Now, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, matriarchy is a form of social organization in which the mother or oldest female is head of the family, and descent and relationship are reckoned through the female line, government or rule by a woman or women. A popular definition, according to James Peoples of Garrick Bailey, is female dominance. Within the academic discipline of cultural anthropology, according to the OED, matriarchy is a culture or community in which a system prevails, or a family, society, organization, etc., dominated by a woman or women without reference to laws that require women to dominate. In general anthropology, according to William A. Haviland, matriarchy is ruled by women. According to Lawrence A. Kusner in 1997, A.R. Radcliffe Brown, a noted academic, argued in 1924 that the definitions of matriarchy and patriarchy have logical empirical failings and were too vague to be scientifically useful. Now, the word matriarchy for a society politically led by females, especially mothers, who also control property, is also often interpreted to mean the general opposite of patriarchy, but is not an opposite. According to Peoples and Bailey, the view of anthropologist Peggy Reeves Sanday is that matriarchies are not a mere or inverted form of patriarchies, but rather that a matriarchy emphasizes maternal meanings, where maternal symbols are linked to social practices, influencing the lives of both sexes, and where women play a central role in these practices. Now, from an Aboriginal standpoint, Mi'kmaq, Maliseet, or whatever, the matriarchs, just like a non-Aboriginal community, are those designated survivors or women that are great-grandmothers or grandmothers within the system. It might be the eldest. Now, I'm almost 60 years old. I'm not what you consider an elder from a Mi'kmaq standpoint yet, because usually an elder is in their 60s or in the 70s. But, for example, my grandmother Lucinda was made the matriarch of the family. She's an Acadian Metis. She's passed out now. But when her mother died, she took on the roles of the matriarchy within the structure of the family, which makes a lot of logical sense. You're going to go to your Grammy or your auntie for determination of what's the strength of the females in the family. So an individual to show up at this protest site and make posts and referring to the matriarchs and maybe incorrectly referring to the women that are at the site as matriarchs, they're supporters and allies, or what you call logical supporters of the cause. So to say otherwise or put something on them is disingenuous to members of the Vautour family, who are pure matriarchs, ones that are the oldest living female survivor of Jackie Vautour, in the case of Jackie's wife. his widow when he passed away a couple of years ago. So you can put your foot in your mouth in a good way, and this was a case like that, but when it comes down to it, most people know who matriarchs are. Most people know who patriarchs are. They're not 18-year-old women or 18-year-old men. They're men that have been heading the family for years, have a lot of experience, would be in their senior years. Now, to confuse the public on this, I don't know why this individual was using matriarch in that way. But all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, as a person who has been covering both sides of the Jackie Vautour story for 41 years, I should know I'm an expert on what matriarchs mean. Because the Mi'kmaq Maliseet people I've covered through the years have had designated elders or matriarchs or patriarchs within the system. Like, I give an example, Margaret LeBillois, look it up. She was a matriarch to us all because she was the longest standing female elder within the LeBillois Simonson family in the North Shore. She was a veteran, former chief. She worked the land. She was a motivator. She was a pure matriarch. You don't see her grandkids being called matriarchs when Margaret was still alive. Do you get me? So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to get a little bit on my high horse tonight, but a matriarch cannot be a 30, 35-year-old woman. A patriarch cannot be a 30, 35-year-old man, because unless they're the last of their family, it doesn't work that way. There's an established role here. The grandparents lead in motivating people to seek out the best path, and the younger kids learn. And they become matriarchs or patriarchs later on because the essence of the people above them taught them the lessons that need to be learned to be patriarchs and matriarchs. But to give a blanket expression to matriarch just because they're the granddaughter or even the patriarch's grandson of a very well-recognized individual doesn't make any sense. So I'll leave you with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, so the latest on the situation with the Jackie Vautour protest. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share.